Hey there, my gorgeous friends on the internet. In this chapter, we are going to learn about Tailwind CSS and Shad CN as well. So when we're creating an application, we want to make sure we have some sort of design system. Okay, we don't just want to write code and it's going to look all jumbled up and messy, right? Maybe different buttons are going to have different styles. This section is going to look a bit wonky and off. So we want to make sure that our styling is consistent. And there's a couple of ways we can do that. You might have, like in the past, by the way, let me just show you. I cleared everything out here in my project. So we're just left with a home page here that has nothing on it. Empty loading, empty layout. Okay, I've added absolutely nothing in the app. The components, I just have an empty folder here. One thing I did add is the logo SVG. I provided an SVG here for you. I'll push this code up now so you can just download it. Tailwind intro and SV and logo. Okay, so I'll name it like that. Push it up to Sprout and Scribble. So if you want to head over to my GitHub, you can just go here and download it. So let's search up Sprout and Scribble here. Should be the latest one. There we go, Sprout and Scribble. So now the code should be pushed up, and if you head over to the public, you should be able to download this logo SVG. Okay, so let's head back here now. Let's go back in time a little bit. Remember when we used to build websites? Let's just go into this global CSS. You might see stuff set up here. Just ignore it for now. When you started off with web development, you probably started writing your CSS like this, right? Oh, I have a button, so I'll grab that button, add some base styles to this. Be a padding of 6 pixels. Let's see, 12 pixels on the side, 6 pixels, 12 pixels, okay? And the background is gonna be like white with a text. So you set up some base styles that you can apply to this button, right? And then you might have specific, buttons that you want to style differently. Like here on Tailwind, right? You might have a primary button or a secondary button. So you'd have to create individual classes for that. So this one would have a background of blue, right? And whatever. This would take so much time to build it out for like every single thing on your website. Imagine the website gets big, right? I mean, you have icons, you have buttons, you have grids, you have forms, you have different types of pages, you have nav links, right? You want to make sure the spaces here are nice and equal. This is all consistent everywhere alongside your pages. So making sure that's all correct and you don't have like weird padding issues on this one and then on this one. That's why we usually just avoid writing vanilla CSS, especially in React projects, because you have so many components moving around and whatnot. It's hard to keep track of, and it's very easy to also create you might have created a class that you think is unique, but it actually affects like a whole different part of your page. Maybe you end up going to the blog and you're gonna see that, hey, this actually had a text balance on it and it turned the color to red or some shit like that, right? So you don't want to do that. So best avoid just writing vanilla CSS. Another option would be to opt in for like CSS modules that Next.js provides you by default. And what this does essentially is you can write dashboard here or any class that you want to make, and this will not conflict. So you can have another file like this, maybe about.module.css, that could have the same dashboard class attached to it, but they will be independent from each other. So I can use this in the component where I'm going to import it into. So if I want to use it here, I can import style from, and let's just navigate over to home module.css. Okay, and if I want to apply this, I can get that object, style, and extract that dashboard property. But as you can see, I don't have an autocomplete or anything, so this sucks. I was like, oh, what was it? Let me go check. Oh, it was in this file, dashboard. Okay, not only you're working with like more files as well, you're like doing this weird dance of hopping back and forth. And look at that, we have the blue attached to it. We can test this to make sure it works. Red, and there we go, cool. So let me just prove that. If I make another file here called about.module.css, we'll do the same dashboard, background blue this time. So again, if I use this maybe in the layout here, for example, div, just import that, You can name this anything you want, by the way. Okay, let's import about module. Oh, that's not spelled correctly. There we go. All right, now that should be fine. So I can still pass in here. Let's just do it to this div. Style dot dashboard. There we go. Hit save. Oh, we should add like something to this because it doesn't have a width or height. But look at that. So it has the same dashboard, but as you can see, it doesn't care. It's going to keep it separate because they're in their own modules. Now, I don't like this at all. This is just like, you have to import, you have to guess the class. If you forgot the class, you have to go back there, whatever, right? So let's just get rid of all of them. We're going to remove it, keep this file clean. We're going to remove this about module, and we're going to remove this home module as well, okay? And clear out this. So Tailwind, now what's the benefit of Tailwind? Tailwind is really good because all of these little, as you can see, it's just utility classes. So this V24 is with, I don't know, like 48 RAM, right? We have flex, which internally is gonna just output you, if you do flex in Tailwind, it's just gonna give you display flex. So it's less typing that you need to do. And not only that, when this gets built out, it's gonna drop like all the utility classes that you haven't used in your project and will only add the ones that you did, which is going to make it super, in most cases, this can be faster than vanilla CSS, because when you're writing CSS on your own, it's very easy to just create a bunch of classes and utilities that you're not using. Whereas this, it's like one class is literally just setting a color or a padding, right? So you're minimizing the code that you're pushing up. Okay, so let's try to see how fast we can do the same thing that we just did back with style modules. So check this out. I can go to layout. Well, let's just do it here. Okay. Check this out. I can add a class name to apply the same color. I can do BG, blue, and look at that. I can pick one here. Let's do 400. Done. See how fast that is? Imagine we have multiple elements here. So let's say I want to do something with display flex and maybe justify these items in between. So flex, done. Justify between. Boom. How easy. If I want to add padding to left and right, I do PX. Done. All right, PY for top. There we go. So see how fast this workflow is. And again, all these classes are just small utility classes that do one specific thing, so it's very easy to see. You have pseudo classes as well, so if you want to do something like on hover, I want to do something, opacity 50, right? Hit save and have a look. Okay, so that's kind of the wonderful thing about Tailwind CSS. We're going to get more into this